said happened to your dad is not what happened to your dad. You understand what I'm trying to tell you?
Meet Linda Roberts, a daughter so evil that she would kill her own father. She will do her best to act innocent, but little does she know her confession was secretly recorded.
The conversation that you had with Mr. Marsh,
yes,
we were listening to that conversation. Okay?
He was alive and you ended his life.
I know I did.
I can't believe that you murdered.
Not me. Me and my sister.
I can't believe
Don't
that you...
put it just on me.
You are going to jail today. Okay? And you are going to be arrested.
My life is over. So is mine.
Anthony Joseph Tomaselli was an Italian barber who had moved to Palm Harbour, Florida in the 1960s along with his wife and 3 children, Mary, Linda, and Charles. Although he wanted to live out the rest of his life with his family, his hopes were crushed in the 1990s as Tomaselli's wife passed away. Fortunately, his dreams were rekindled in 2004 when he met a new lover, Cheryl Shannon. But even this would be short-lived. The two were diagnosed with a number of health issues, especially Tomaselli, who was suffering from dementia, lung cancer, and several cardiac issues. Once again, his partner passed before him. By February 2015, Cheryl succumbed to her health issues. And this time, Tomaselli would be next in line. A month later, on March 6, 2015, 911 dispatchers received a call from his daughters reporting a medical emergency. By the time first responders arrived, they found the 85-year-old slumped on the couch as his daughter Linda attempted CPR. Considering his age, the situation was chalked down to an old man passing away from natural causes. After all, there were no signs of foul play, and an autopsy was never performed. For the next 4 years, everyone began to move on, and this incident was left behind in the past. That is, until someone got in touch with the Pinellas County Sheriff's Office in 2019. Meet Anthony Marsh, someone who claims to have important information regarding Tomaselli's death.
What made you contact us here? Well, I was told by a friend. And who's that friend? Linda Roberts. When did you see her? Yesterday. Yesterday. How long have you known her? Since I believe it was maybe September of last year. What's your relationship with her? Friends. Friends? Any intimate relationship? There was. Okay.
Intimacy is quite a gross understatement here. Mary met Marsh, a musician, at a Pinellas County bar, and their relationship escalated rapidly. However, their flame quickly grew into a wildfire as Marsh cheated on Mary with none other than her own sister, Linda. Even this casual relationship ended in failure as Marsh broke up with Linda shortly afterward. But Linda wasn't quite done yet. She began stalking Marsh and his social media, ultimately reaching a climax when she made an odd request in February of 2019, as Anthony will explain.
She said, please, I want to talk to you. I have to tell you something very important about why this has happened, why I'm this way. I know I've said things and done things that have upset you. And she asked me to come over to talk in person. I did. I went over. And then she started telling me, you don't understand what happened to me in my lifetime and why I'm this way, why I'm so messed up. And she said it has to do with my father. And I said, wow, that sounds pretty bad. Of course, I was assuming something completely different. Mm-hmm. And I said, I know people. I've talked to people. I know I have a little experience in people that are messed up because of their parents. You can tell me if that's what you want to tell me. She said, I've never told anyone. Nobody knows. And I said, well, these kind of secrets will, there she is. Mm-hmm. Just ignore it. Really? Yeah. You can call her back.
We'll call her back.
We'll call her back later.
We'll call her back, yeah. Let's talk to her.
The only thing is she's on her way back. She expects to meet me. Okay. Just hold on. No?
No, just let it go.
We'll just...
No, you can call her back. It's totally, it's no problem.
Fine. Okay.
Just don't want to break up what's going on here, that's all.
You got it. And she says, you don't understand, I've never told one soul. Nobody knows. I've never told anybody. The only person that knows is my sister. She knows. I said, oh, geez, this is going on with her as well. I said, tell me. She said, it's nothing sexual, if that's what you're thinking. I was like, that's what I was thinking. You're damaged from this child. She said, no. I said, then what is it? She said, I ended my father's life.
Okay.
Is that what she exactly said?
Exactly.
Okay.
And then what did she say? How did it? And then when she said that, what did you do?
I was shocked. And then she said, actually, we ended my father's life, me and my sister. And I said, how did you do this? It was chilling to me.
Okay.
I started my phone video at that point.
And this video that Anthony mentions is one of the most shocking confessions you will ever hear, because Linda is about to divulge the kind of horrors she subjected her father to.
Put like 6 of them in a little bit, because he had a drink every night anyway,
Who had a drink every night?
my dad. I said, just put them in a little bit of alcohol, 6, 7 of them, and stir them up, because he was waiting for his drink.
A beverage, alcohol?
Yeah, vodka. So, what does she do? She makes a drink this
Who?
big.
Mary Beth?
Yes. Instead of making a little drink, she makes a big drink. Because the 7 halcyon, I think it was halcyon that he was taking, which are very strong, would have been plenty enough to just let him go to sleep and sleep peacefully. So she makes a drink this big. Well, he can't drink a drink this big. So I looked at her and I said, so she already handed him the drink. He takes about 4 swigs of it, 5. And in about 15 minutes, his hands started shaking. He was dropping his prayers that he was saying, his holy cards. But I knew he didn't have enough in his system.
Keep in mind that as part of his nighttime routine, Tomaselli would read his prayer cards in both English and Italian. So during what was otherwise a holy moment for him, his daughters decided to cut it short by trying to euthanize him. What's even worse is the way Linda sees this entire situation, believing that overdosing her own father on sleeping pills was the ultimate act of mercy.
Wait, this was 7 years ago?
4.
4 years ago?
Yeah.
You killed your father 4 years ago.
Do you have to say it like that?
Well, but
and
that's...
don't just say it to me, because it was my sister too.
And Mary Beth.
Correct. We euthanized him. We didn't kill him.
You can't decide that a miracle of modern medicine couldn't have saved him and cleared his cancer out.
Never. Never in a million years.
You can't decide that.
The doctor said it. He told
The doctor.
father's dying.
But he's not dead. You can't end his life. You know this. You know you can't end a life. You know it's murder.
Yes, I do.
That's murder. Look at you, little innocent you, and you've actually murdered a person in this world, and your own father to boot. I've never murdered a person, and I'm dangerous. I'm a dangerous individual. People start fights with me, and I don't just wrestle with them. I pound them into oblivion, and I've never murdered anybody. I can't believe it. I've even wanted to in the past. I've even
So
thought...
then why do you think, now what are you going to do?
What do you mean?
That I've told you.
I can't believe that you murdered.
Not me. Me and my sister.
I can't believe
Don't
that you...
put it just on me. We made the decision together as a pack.
She's a dumbass. You're the ringleader. You know that. The first person to think, let's just euthanize him, was you. You know that. And
No,
she
it
agreed.
really wasn't.
And she agreed.
No, that's not true.
Oh, you both said it at the same time. You went
Actually,
1,
we
2,
did.
3, let's
We
euthanize.
both decided at the same time, because actually, you don't know my sister. My sister has a temper 10 times worse.
When first responders initially arrived, Linda was attempting CPR on her father, who she claimed was dying due to heart failure. But as you're about to find out, this was nothing but a sickening act.
But you told me, the one thing you did tell me about your father is that you tried to give your father CPR And that's the one, see, that's a lie. Now you have to admit that's a lie. You're like, I was giving my, yes.
It's a lie.
It's a lie.
I knew he was dead.
You knew he was dead. But you said that the paramedics...
I knew he was dead because he had...
Because you killed him.
Because he had peed his pants. And I knew he was... Yes, I knew he was dead.
But you did it for more of a show. When the paramedics came in, you were doing chest compressions. Admit it.
Admit it. I admit it.
Because then because you told me early on when I first met you, you're like, this terrible thing happened. I had to give my own father chest compressions, and I couldn't get off of him because I just wouldn't accept that he wasn't dead.
At that point, it is true. I was probably in my mind trying to revive him.
No, you weren't. You knew he was dead.
I knew he was dead, but I thought maybe I could breathe him back to life. When the paramedics... I know, I'm a terrible person, so what do you want me to do?
You called the paramedics, and when you called them, they came, and that's when you started chest compressions.
No, I started him immediately when I walked over to him because I thought maybe he didn't die.
Oh, really? So the paramedics got there, and you were still doing chest compressions. They had to pull you off, you said.
Yes.
But just 2 seconds ago, you said you admit it. I said you were doing chest compressions just for show. I admit it, and you said yes, I admit it.
What is this, judge and jury now?
But you admitted it 2 seconds ago. You said I admit it. You knew he was dead. You were just doing that for show. More than trying to save him because you knew he was dead. You're not stupid.
On the surface, a bombshell confession like this might seem enough to send Linda Roberts to jail for a long, long time. However, this footage was recorded in secret and without her consent, making it inadmissible in court. This is why, as part of a formal investigation, Marsh arranged another meeting with Linda wired up and ready to record another confession. But instead of realizing her mistakes, Linda is about to double down on her actions.
What if I said I don't believe you about this story about stopping your dad's breathing? What if I just said I thought you're making it up to scare me or something, scare me from you? What?
It happened.
It happened. You're not just trying to scare me?
Are you scared of me?
Not really, but you do have a .38.
Oh, come on. Would never shoot someone unless a stranger came through that door and when it came into my bedroom. And I knew they were not somebody
I'm not scared of you, but you're so meek to think that you actually murdered your father.
I did not murder him.
Oh, I'm sorry. Euthanize?
Yes.
If this wasn't horrifying enough, Linda mentioned something even more concerning during this conversation.
In any instance that happens.
That you what?
In any instance that could happen, the condo is mine.
Really?
Like if he dies, it's mine.
Wait, if Ted dies, then the condo is yours?
Yeah.
What do they call that, right of survivorship?
Yes.
But wait, does he have to agree to that?
Well, he's already agreed to it, because I already told him I was having it written up.
Wow.
If he dies before me, the condo's mine. If I die before him...
Which is not likely.
Well, I don't know. He's pretty healthy.
Well,
but my
I think you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. No, that's not funny. That is not funny.
Well, I'm trying not to make light of it, but...
That's not funny. I don't do that.
What if you get pissed off at him? Would you?
No, I could have killed him many times and gotten away with it.
This opened an entirely new can of worms. Checking inheritance records, it was just like Linda claimed. After Tomaselli's death, each of his children received nearly $110,000 each. Now there were two major questions. One, was this a murder that had been in the works for a long time to covet Tomaselli's inheritance paycheck? Two, if the sleeping pills weren't as effective as Mary and Linda hoped, what was the finishing blow that ended Tomaselli's life, especially considering there were no signs of foul play? These were aspects difficult to get to the bottom of without directly talking to Linda, which is exactly what detectives did as she was brought in for an interview on March 5th, 2019. Ironically, this date was just 1 day short of her father's 4-year death anniversary.
So your father's deceased, right?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me a little bit about that?
About what?
About what happened, what happened?
what happened to my father. The doctor, well, his companion died 3 weeks prior to him. And he had dementia.
Okay.
And he was going to go into Brookdale.
Okay.
My brothers and sisters and I all decided he was going to Brookdale.
Okay.
So he didn't want to go there, but he had to go there. It was a beautiful place.
Right.
And my sister and I moved in after Shirley died to help take care of my father because he had nobody. So I could hear my father had lung cancer 7 years ago.
Okay.
And he was with Shirley, so I wasn't involved in his medical care during that time when Shirley was alive. Well, when I was there, my father he said he felt like he had a stabbing pain in his chest. And he had this awful cough. And my sister got up and she went over and checked on him, and she yelled to me, "Something's wrong. Dad is not responding to me." So I went over there and I checked for a pulse. I felt a pulse, but wasn't thinking my father had a pacemaker in, so of course he's going to have a pulse. But in that instance, you're not even thinking. So I called Dr. Mazer on the phone, and I said, "My dad something's wrong, he's not breathing." In the meantime, I told my sister to call 911. So she called 911, they came, and I was doing CPR on him. And they came in and they said, I don't remember the exact words, but they said, "You need to get off your father now, we're going to continue." And I said, "Continue CPR on him, please."
Every single second of what Linda said was a carefully concocted lie, distorting the right amount of truth to make her seem innocent. But knowing that she has been quite literally caught in 4K, this was probably as much of a painful experience for detectives as it was for you. Fortunately though, detectives won't let these attempts to deceive them slide so easily in one of the most satisfying confrontations in interrogation history.
People make mistakes, and I get that, okay? And when your daughter makes a mistake, you want her to be honest with you, right?
Of course.
Of course, and that's the way you raise her, right? So if she does something, or she did a mistake, you want her to, part of it, you learn from your mistakes. Isn't that how you raise it? So I don't think you're not being very honest with me right now.
What do you mean?
Because that's not what happened with your father, okay? And you know that, okay? You know that that's not what happened with your father. So I want you to tell me again, from the beginning, what happened with your father.
I don't understand what you're talking about.
The story, I'm going to lay it out for you. The story that you just provided to him is not what happened to your dad.
What happened to my dad?
I want you to go back and walk through this one more time. You need to pay attention to what's going on here, okay? What you said happened to your dad is not what happened to your dad. You understand what I'm trying to tell you?
Not especially.
That's not exactly how it happened, okay? And you know that, okay? So I'm going to give you, because when I'm asking you questions, I already know the answer to it, okay? And right now, I get it. You're nervous, you're keeping this in, and you're going with the same story that you had told the other officer when they originally came, but that's not what happened.
We've been doing an investigation, and that's not what happened, and you know that's not what happened. We're paying you the compliment of being upfront with you. You need to pay us the same compliment and tell us what actually happened.
Who is giving you information, other information?
Ma'am, I want to hear from you, okay? And I want to talk to you about it, okay? So I know what happened, and I'm giving you the opportunity right now to talk to us and tell us your side of the story.
is unbelievable.
I agree.
Does my sister know about this?
Her sister does know about it, and not only does she know about it, but she actually gave a confession just hours earlier of how this murder was entirely Linda's plan. According to her, she was just an innocent girl who got swept away in her sister's chaos.
I know what your sister did. And
You know
I know
what my
what
sister did?
I know what she did, and I know what you did. So, right now, it's not to continue to tell us the story that you're telling me is not right. I get your father was sick. He was ill. People make mistakes, okay? And I know everything, okay?
From a trustworthy person, you know everything?
Who's not trustworthy?
Who's not trustworthy?
Somebody obviously told you something that could possibly not be trustworthy. The person is not a trustworthy person. And it's not Ted, for sure, I can tell you that.
Okay. I know what your sister did, and I know what you did.
I don't understand.
I don't know who this person that you're talking about, but I know everything.
Well, I don't quite understand who would say anything to you. Who is this person that is giving you this information? Don't I have a right to know that? They didn't leave a name. They didn't tell you who they were.
They gave us a very detailed account of what happened, so I'm just trying to tell you there's no mystery about what happened.
They gave a detailed account?
Yes. I'm not bluffing, and you know I'm not bluffing.
And I'm not. And I'm being upfront with you, okay? And I know things, and it's time right now for you to, I know it's been weighing in on you all these years, which would be understandable, okay? It would be understandable. That's normal to weigh in this much.
But I don't believe the person that told you is a trustworthy person, and that.
All right. Well, who is that person you're talking about? What are you talking about? You keep saying this person's not trustworthy. What person do you have in mind?
A certain person that.
Well, I know, but what is that person's name?
Anthony Marsh.
Then why is he not trustworthy?
Well, you can look up his criminal background and see that he's been in a lot of trouble.
Okay, and what's your relationship with him?
I am single, I was seeing him for a short time. I was seeing him.
And when did that start and when did that stop?
It started in probably July of last year, and I still continued to have seen him.
Marsh wasn't the only person Linda continued seeing. Even while stalking and obsessing over Marshall, she had an on-again, off-again relationship with her ex-husband. It was during these bouts of jumping between lovers that Linda requested a meeting with Marshall in hopes of reconnecting with him and resuming their casual relationship. What she could never have expected was that he would record the entire ordeal.
The conversation that you had with Mr. Marsh,
Yes.
we were listening to that conversation. Okay?
Okay.
So we can cut to the chase that there was no joking about this. I have crystal clear clarity, so you can read between the lines, okay? I actually had the same clarity with your sister.
You talked to her?
About an hour ago. So I'm going to tell you one more time. You're not going to come out on the end of this in a very good fashion because you're telling the truth about what happened. We tried to give you ample opportunity to tell what happened, but now you know that I know what happened.
I wanted to know who told it.
I just told you that.
Okay,
So we're going to cut through the BS. Agreed?
agreed.
Okay. Now answer his questions and let's move forward with this. Okay? Do you understand?
I understand, but you don't have to be rough with me.
Ma'am, I've given you 3 or 4 opportunities to tell the truth, and we were very upfront with you, and you're not being upfront with us. He said, I'm going to be very upfront with you about what happened, and you kind of disrespected him a little bit by not doing that. I'm just trying to put us on the right path here. Do you understand that?
Okay.
We will be fine, but I can't have you wandering off the reservation. Do you understand?
I understand.
Okay, so now let's walk through this again.
So talk to us a little bit now.
Okay.
Tell me
My
the truth.
sister and I were lying in bed, and my father had dementia. He was calling both me and my sister by my mother's name. I knew he was dying because he had this mass in his lung, cancer. And she said to me, she held my hand and she said, I can't remember the exact words, but you can't let Dad suffer like this. And we were both crying. And so she said, can we euthanize him some way to put him out of his misery?
Who said this? I didn't hear that part.
I don't know who said it.
But it was said, is what you're saying.
It was said.
This may I understand what you're saying. Go, continue, sorry.
And I said, well, he takes his double sleeping pills, so we could give him a few more sleeping pills, and he would just go to sleep.
Whose idea was that?
I don't know whose idea it was particularly. My sister and my father had been fighting terribly, and that night, and my sister went home to her house, and they had very, very harsh words the night before.
What
Not
kind
that
of
night.
harsh words?
He was calling her not nice names, saying that it's hard to remember exactly, but they were yelling. They had a yelling match at each other.
Okay.
So she did have an anger at that time.
Okay. So then what happened?
So I felt very bad for my father that he was suffering so bad. He was in pain, he couldn't breathe, he was having labor breathing. And so we took him for a ride for the beach. He always wanted to go to the beach. And then we brought him home, and she took his sleeping pills.
How many?
I don't know. She probably put maybe 10, if I had to guess,
Okay.
into a big glass of, he always had a shot of vodka before he went to bed. And she made this big giant drink for him to drink with the sleeping pills in it. He drank maybe this much of it,
Okay.
and he had his little St. Joseph card tea reads at night, and he dropped them. And he lay down and went to sleep.
And then what happened?
He opened his eyes, but then he closed them immediately after he opened them. And my sister said, he's obviously not, it's not working. And
He's not dead?
Yeah, he had not died, right. And
How was he acting during this? Just everything was normal, or was he off kilter? Did it have any effect on him at all, or anything?
oh yeah, he was semi-conscious, I would say.
Understood.
So my sister and I both said, well, we've started euthanizing him.
Understand.
We have to finish it now.
Okay, and what'd you do?
So I just got a hand washcloth.
Who got the hand washcloth?
I believe I did,
Okay.
but I'm not 100% sure because
Where did it come from?
the bathroom.
Okay.
And she held his nose,
Mm-hmm. And what'd you do?
and I put the washcloth in his mouth and
To block the airway?
blocked the airway. And it was just,
Did he move around? Was he trying to fight it a little bit?
he acted like he had to go to the bathroom, is what the main thing I remember about it.
Okay.
And he urinated.
It's important to piece together the story so far. Tomaselli, diagnosed with lung cancer, had only months to live. Initially, Cheryl cared for him as he fought multiple illnesses, but after she passed away in February, it was up to his daughters to take care of him. But Linda and Mary had other plans. They insisted that he get sent to an assisted living home. Of course, in the little time he had left, Tomaselli would rather spend that with his loved ones and not at the hands of strangers in an assisted living home, so he was adamant about staying with them. The Tomaselli sisters begged to differ. Fed up with their father, they repaid his love by spiking his nightly drink with 8 pills of halcyon, nearly 4 times the amount he usually took. However, that plan failed as Tomaselli regained consciousness. Panicking, the sisters shoved a rag down his throat, giving him a slow and painful death. If you thought that this conversation wasn't heartbreaking enough, the worst is yet to come.
Did your sister hold his hand
She may have.
to stop him from fighting or anything?
He wasn't fighting too much because he was drugged from the sleeping
Okay.
pills.
But there was some movements there.
He did move his hand.
Okay, that's what we're asking. Okay.
All right, so,
And she was holding his nose.
okay.
And he stopped breathing, but he still had a pulse. But I didn't realize he had a pacemaker. I did realize it then, that it took me a while to realize why he still had a pulse, because he had a pacemaker in.
So then at that time when you realized once he had died, what did you do? What did you guys do at that time? Because what time did this happen at night? Was it in the middle of the night?
Probably towards the middle of the night, yeah.
Okay. Was there anyone else in the house?
Yes, my niece.
Okay.
She was in the other bedroom.
All right. What did you guys do to her?
Well, we didn't do anything to her. She asked for a sleeping pill because she was having a lot of anxiety.
And what kind of sleeping pill did you give it to her?
Yes, I gave her one of my Ambien.
You gave her.
But not one of his, meaning your father's.
I believe it was his now.
You think it was one of yours because you gave your own prescription.
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
So let's back up here. So the night before, or was it the night before that you and your sister were talking about wanting to do this?
Yes.
Okay.
It was the night that she had the bad argument with my father.
Okay, so you two are laying in bed, and then you guys discussed about wanting to end his life. Is that correct?
Well,
This,
I took it as euthanasia. I'm sorry, I've been in the medical field. I felt I was putting
Oh, I understand that. No, I understand that's what your thought process, but there was some discussion about it the night before that this was going to happen. This wasn't like a 2-second thing.
No.
They just did it. There was some discussion because obviously you want to make sure your sister's on board with this. I mean, you could see that could be a problem. You both weren't.
Yes, we
Okay.
both felt that at the time that.
So you talked about it. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, okay. I understand.
so then, whose idea was it for the pills?
Well, I don't remember exactly, but she said, Dad has sleeping pills, and I said, yes, sleeping pills would be the easiest, and he would just go to sleep.
Did you what kind of pills was it that you guys gave him?
I believe he took Restoril
Restoril?
at the time. Yes.
Did you give him any of your pills?
I honestly don't remember, because I had them for me. They were mine.
So you don't know if you gave him your pills?
Exactly, to be honest with you, I don't remember. I remember giving it to, she got the, I don't know who even got the pills to the rest of the room.
I know you tried when he woke up and opened his eyes, and you guys went ahead and did the washcloth.
Right.
Prior to doing the washcloth, you used a pillow, and it didn't work.
Well, that I don't remember, honestly, using a pillow. That, honest to God, I do not remember using a pillow. I'm honest with you about that. I don't remember ever saying I used a pillow. We used a pillow.
No, not.
Not do you remember saying it, do you remember the incident in which you used the pillow? That's different. That's a different question.
I don't remember using a pillow. I just remember getting the washcloth.
Well, because you tried the pillow first.
I don't remember, I honestly do not remember using a pillow.
It's true that the sisters did not use a pillow to finish the job. Rather, they opted for something far worse, as this snippet from the original confession recorded by Marsh proves.
So anyway, he went to sleep.
Okay.
We thought he was
Dead?
dead.
And? He
He
wasn't.
opened his eyes
He opened his
and he
eyes.
looked at us.
He looked at you.
And I said, now what do we do?
You asked her now what to do?
I said, what do we do now?
So then
I
what?
don't know if I can even tell the rest of it.
You put a pillow over his face.
Yeah, we did, not a pillow, but we did end his breathing, yes.
By pinching his nose? Did you pinch your father's nose? How did you do it?
Can't talk anymore.
What do you mean you can't talk? You already told me. This is the only way to get it off your chest. You've never told anybody. You might as well finish. So I know, and you know, that the truth has been told.
Even after being told that her confession was recorded, Linda still bet on the off chance that it wasn't as detailed as she hoped and just tried to downplay her crimes.
So when he was laying on the couch, okay, and he opened his eyes, and when you went to get the washcloth, where did you get it again?
His bathroom, the master bathroom.
And where was your sister when this was going on?
She was with him alone.
Was he out of it, or was he trying to get up, or?
No, he didn't try to get up. He moved his arms. I remember that. That I remember.
Now, is it true that he did not want to go to that group home, or the?
Correct.
And was it a burden watching your dad? Because
No,
you guys
he
had
had-
to spend
he had-
so much time
no.
going there?
No, that was nothing to do with being a burden. He was going to be in a beautiful place. He had the insurance that covered it.
But he didn't want to go there.
They were going to have to put him eventually, when he got there, they were going to put him, I'm sure,
But
in the
was he-
Alzheimer's lockdown.
He didn't like it, is what I'm saying. Whether it was the best thing for him or not, he personally did not like it.
He was begging a lady, Shirley's niece, who was known to be on crack cocaine, he was begging her to stay with him and take care of her when we knew she was on crack cocaine.
No, I understand this. But the long and the short of it is that he was resistant to going there. Regardless if it was the best thing for him, all these other collateral matters, he was resistant to going there. Is that correct?
He was resistant because he did not have his mind.
I understand, but we're just walking through this. I'm just saying,
Right.
I'm not saying that wasn't the best thing for him. We're not getting into any of that. I understand where you thought it was, and maybe it was. I'm just saying he personally was resistant to it for whatever variety of reasons. So he just didn't want to do it.
No.
Okay,
no,
that's all.
there.
And so you and your sister were spending a lot of time there taking care
Well,
of
my niece was.
And your
We
niece?
were working.
Okay.
She watched him during the day.
But then when you get home from work, that's where you were staying?
Yes.
Okay. And then what made the decision to do this? Why did it prompt that night?
He was in such misery and mentally so out of it that you know the rest of the story.
My guess is, let me ask you this. You must have been torn about this. I mean,
I was terribly torn about it.
I understand you have your father that's there and he's suffering, but ultimately this was not proper. or not lawful, let's just put it that way. You're a smart person.
At the time, I felt I was euthanizing my father and helping him.
I understand that.
That is my honest answer I
Okay,
give you.
but looking back and looking at it, I mean, you're smart. You got your certification. You're with the, you know, for an assistant, okay, medical assistant. You're a smart lady. I mean, do you think that's lawful for someone to do?
Take the morality out of
As
it.
Anthony told me, no, it was not lawful.
You don't, let me ask you this, you don't know independently of Anthony telling you that whether that was right. Forget was it morally right or anything, I'm just saying lawfully, you had to know that that was not lawful. It was legal to do that.
No, I guess it is not legal to do that.
Right. Because if it was legal to do that, you would have came out and just told us what happened, and you didn't do that. You knew there had to be a downside to this.
Already told me that it was not legal to do what we did. I felt I euthanized him and put him on the sick leave.
I understand.
I have nothing else to say.
No, I understand. But that's because you saw your dad was suffering. I totally understand that. But if you take that part of it out, the act of just doing that is not lawful, is what I'm trying to say. This is where we're at. That's why there's a problem.
Okay.
With this, detectives have answered one of the two questions coming into this interview. What happened after they spiked Tomaselli's drink? Now, the second and arguably the most important question remains. Was the motive of the sisters to get their share of the inheritance money?
Did you guys get an inheritance or anything from your father?
We all three got inheritance.
And how
together.
much did you get?
Myself,
Yes.
about $110,000.
You got 110?
Split evenly.
Between the three of you.
Yes.
You, your sister, and your brother.
Yes, I was the power of attorney.
So how much did you personally get out of?
I got no more than my brother and sister. Everything was split evenly.
And it was 110 split 3 ways.
About that.
Okay.
And it was his house that sold his villa.
And then you got his house that sold.
I didn't get it. It was split evenly between the
Okay,
three.
so you had the house, you guys split the house in 3, and then 110,000? Is that?
Maybe I misunderstood. Did you get 100? Did you each get 110,000 apiece? Is that what you're saying? Am I clear on that, or?
About, I have to.
Okay, that's fine. I'm just saying. I think we're
I was
misunderstanding that you didn't split 110,000. You each got 110,000. Is that what we're?
About that.
Roughly. I'm just saying, just so
Roughly.
we're clear on what we're talking about. Okay. Now let me ask you. What's your brother's name again?
Charles
Right.
Thompson.
Now, what does he know about what we just talked about here? Does he know any of this, or does he just think this just went the way you guys
doesn't
are
know
traded?
anything.
Nobody in the family knows, your sister knows, but that's it.
Correct.
Okay.
And no one else knows?
No. Other than Anthony.
Okay.
And did your niece, what did you say to your niece in the morning when you guys discovered him, when you told him?
Thought he had died during his sleep.
Did he have any, did he urinate or anything like that during
Yes.
the process? Was that happening, when did that happen? Was it during,
I guess it was when he was dying. He urinated, which is normal.
is that when you guys were, when you had the rag over his mouth
Mhm.
and your sister had her finger closing his nose?
Okay. Before we got into kind of what I'll call the truthful section of what happened here, you'd said that Anthony was not a trustworthy person. Now, when you say that, my feeling about that is that you were trying to deflect what he was going to tell us, but I will tell you that it was spot on. So I'm just trying to tell you, your opinion about Anthony may be different, but it's not about him being untruthful about this, because I'm just telling you what was said was almost verbatim, so.
Well, if he was wired, obviously.
Okay, this is what I'm trying to say, but you try to portray him as being an untrustworthy person as it pertains to this, when in fact, that's not the case, because obviously, we heard verbatim, and he's not untrustworthy when it comes to this, because that's...
Maybe to this, but other things.
Oh, he may be, I have no knowledge about that, but I'm talking about as it pertains to this. You were trying to lead us to believe that he was untrustworthy about this particular thing, and that's actually not the case. You understand that?
Yes, I understand.
Okay. And I'm not condoning any other behavior which I have no knowledge of that he's involved or not involved in. I'm talking about as it pertains to this is all I'm concerned about. You understand what my question is? You understand that? Okay.
So he came to you with this?
Do you have, let me ask you this, and I know this may be, are you, basically, when you came and told us this right now, I know you were driving, are you under any influence at all?
Illegal drugs?
Yes.
No.
Okay.
I never take illegal drugs.
Okay. All right. And
I take my heart medication, I take my thyroid medication, I take my mild tranquilizer.
Mm-hmm.
That is prescribed by an MD. I never have taken illegal drugs.
One of the reasons that detectives ask about illegal drugs is the hallucinations that Linda suffered from. In her initial attempts to rekindle with Marsh, she often stated that his father not only visited her in his dreams, but she saw him standing in her room at night, haunting her for something. Regardless of whether or not she really was going crazy, detectives have all the answers they require. But they still have one more surprise prepared for Linda.
what I want to do is, I'm going to put your hands up. Hang on. We're going to bring her sister in here. Let me just get up here. This is my telephone.
Just hold on one second.
Okay. You want to do this or do it?
No, yeah, do that.
So just stick your hands out, that's all. You guys have a little alone time there?
Meet Mary Beth, Linda's sister and co-conspirator in Anthony Tomaselli's murder. Now, the two of them are about to have a sisterly conversation about what their life has come to and how Mary plans to end hers.
Can I say anything?
You didn't say anything to them?
Yes, I had to tell them.
And so did I. Because you told someone.
I know. Because I thought I could trust him.
It was never recorded in here. And
I already asked.
I already told him who it was. He came to my house.
Who did?
Anthony.
When?
Thursday.
And he told you he was going to do this?
He told me. And he just speak to me. Scared the shit out of me in my driveway. In my car. In the garage. Because I had to talk to someone running. Well, I had no idea what could be so important. He insisted I let him in the house. And told me what you told him. Then he was trying to blackmail.
Why? Having a hard time. I was having dreams. I was.
Yeah, you
And
had
you weren't speaking to me. I had no one to talk to.
You weren't speaking to me either. Now look at us. We're going to jail. My life is over.
So was mine.
I thought about taking this string and myself in the other room. Taking these off of here and hanging them in the room. Myself just now.
Take them off.
What? These springs come out of my boots.
Well, you get yourself.
I was gonna tie it so tight that I couldn't breathe. Anyone on this earth, the man has stolen from you, lied, and cheated on a worst person on earth. We know what we did, and we did it for a reason.
I told him why you did it.
It doesn't matter what you tell that monster. I told the police when we did it. I told him why we did it. When I thought my father had dementia and he was getting worse every day. He was uncontrollable. And we had gotten a call with the lung cancer. It's true that none of it's a lie. I know we said the truth. Exactly. However, Anthony said it was my idea. You told him it was my idea. I told him you had argued with Dad the night before. We all had an argument with Dad. Dad called us back several times. It was a bad argument in the house. I remember. A bad argument in the house? Over what? Because I wouldn't let him eat something? No, because he didn't want to go to Brookdale. Well, he was mad at all of us. I was the one that... It doesn't matter. That had nothing to do with me. Am I not together medicine? I don't know. Well, it's over now. Our lives are over. We're done. We're dead.
These discussions of lamenting their actions would be cut short by detectives, who returned to send the sisters off to the one place they belong: prison.
And again, I'm going to double lock these, that way they don't stitch down on you, okay? Alright. Ladies, ready?
Okay.
Alright. We're going to walk down this way. I got the purse. I don't know whose this is, but we'll go with you. Is this yours?
No, it's hers.
It's hers? Okay. I'll make sure they know that's out of the jail.
She has had a stroke.
Okay.
And so
they have excellent medical care down at the jail.
I mean, for her walking down the stairs and
We're both going to walk down.
Take the elevator, okay?
Yeah.
When Linda and Mary went to trial, the state concluded that there was no malice behind the murder and that the sisters did not do it to get their hands on the inheritance money. In an ironic twist of events, Mary Beth testified against her own sister in 2021. Consequently, she was only sentenced to 15 years in prison, while 64-year-old Linda was sentenced to 20.